Right then, so is Naoya Inoue ducking MJ Akhmadaliev? That is a big question that lots of people are talking about right now. I'm going to get into it in this video. So yes, obviously MJ Akhmadaliev came off a win a few weeks ago now against Ricardo Espinoza, won the fight in good fashion. Then after the fight, MJ and Eddie Hearn were both calling out Inoue, claim that he's ducking him. And yeah, let's get into it now. I've got some other points to make as well of what is really going on. Is Inoue really ducking him, or what is going on? But first of all, let's see what Eddie Hearn has to say. And I actually think he has some all right points in this video, to be fair.
What do you have to do to deliver him the fight?
So yeah, this was obviously after MJ's win against Espinoza a few weeks ago.
We've delivered him the fight. It's not been called once, it's been called twice by the WBA. The first time they paid for an exception to duck MJ.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. So Eddie Hearn's saying that Inoue's team paid for an exception to not fight MJ Akhmadaliev. It's an interesting one, isn't it? To be honest, it's an interesting one. I mean, you know, MJ is a mandatory. He is a mandatory at the WBA super bantamweight belt to be able to fight Naoya Inoue, but yeah, the fight's not been made, and let's be real, there's many of us fans that want to see that fight. You know, you've got lots of Inoue fans saying, oh yeah, obviously, Tapales, who Inoue beat about a year ago now, beat MJ Akhmadaliev. But, I mean, let's be real, it was a close fight, which could have gone MJ's way. But either way, though, I think MJ's got a really difficult style for Inoue. And, you know, Inoue probably knows that this is the toughest fight for him in the division. Obviously, you know, they paid for an exception. Inoue ended up fighting TJ Dehaney, and now he's fighting Sam Goodman in January. So that's interesting in my opinion, and why that's not happened when it has been ordered by the WBO for Inoue to fight MJ is interesting.
The second time was cast iron. In writing, he had to fight him.
It was in writing, Eddie Hearn saying that Inoue had to fight MJ. I mean, again, it's interesting, isn't it?
Way to avoid it again. Naoya Inoue is a pound-for-pound legend. We respect him. He's an unbelievable fighter.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, they are giving him his credit as well. Like, Inoue was meant to be fighting MJ Akhmadaliev. It has been ordered. It's a fact. Inoue was ordered to fight MJ Akhmadaliev, and it still hasn't happened. And now Inoue's fighting Sam Goodman, and after this, we're hearing lots of things about after the Sam Goodman fight, Inoue wants to move up to featherweight and get a possible fight there against another champion. That could either be Angelo Leo, Nick Ball, Brandon Figueiredo, or Rafael Espinoza. So, I mean, let's be real, though. I would rather see Inoue fight MJ Akhmadaliev over those four. 100% I would. I think that it's a very, very, very good fight. And I think MJ deserves to be given his opportunity. He's been mandatory for a good long time now. And and as I said, and as Eddie Hearn said, it's a fact. MJ Akhmadaliev has been ordered to fight Inoue. And it is a bit fishy that it hasn't happened. I don't think Inoue's scared at all. But I think, you know, his team know it's a difficult fight. It's a difficult fight. And I think it's clear to see as well, now Inoue wants to move up. He is getting tighter and tighter at the weight. That's clear to see. So is that going on in the heads of Inoue and Inoue's team? Inoue's getting tight at the weight now. MJ Akhmadaliev is probably the toughest and last toughest test in the division. Do they want to take that risk, or do they just want Inoue to move up and conquer another division? I mean, let's be real, that would be the safer option, because if you're tight at the weight, he could be drained when he's fighting MJ, and that could affect him in the fight. That's the thing. So do Inoue and his team wants to play the risky game with MJ by fighting MJ, or do they want you know, just play it safe and go up and try and conquer another division at featherweight? Because let's be real, Inoue, if you do think about it, doesn't really have to do anything else at at super bantamweight anyway. He can just move up to featherweight. You know, he has done it all at super bantamweight. But apart from fighting a mandatory who has been offered to him twice, though, in MJ Akhmadaliev, that's the thing, though. But Inoue's done everything possible at super bantamweight. He's got all the belts, and he has fought worthy contenders in the division. He has fought every mandatory that he's been given, except for MJ Akhmadaliev. That makes it interesting. And on paper as well, MJ is the toughest test for Inoue. Look, let's get back onto this video as well for what Eddie had to say.
One thing he hasn't got, and that's Uzbek power, right? And I'm telling you, there is only one fighter in the division that can even compete with him, let alone beat him, and that's MJ.
That is true. Like, let's be real. MJ is probably the only fighter in the division that can compete with Inoue. This is a big fight, in my opinion. I feel like Inoue fighting MJ is probably Inoue's biggest fight that he can have at, well, super bantamweight anyway. But right now, anyway, it's a big money fight. It's a big money fight. Right now, this is one of the biggest fights that Inoue can have in fighting MJ Akhmadaliev. Both guys have got massive fan bases everywhere. Let's be real. I think just everyone is interested in seeing this fight. It's one of Inoue's biggest fights that he can have right now in boxing. It is bigger than a Nick Ball fight. It is. It's bigger than a Nick Ball fight. It's bigger than an Angelo Leo fight, 100%. And it looks like probably the Angelo Leo fight for Inoue as well is probably most likely to happen in Inoue's first fight at featherweight. We want to see MJ fight Inoue instead of Angelo Leo. It's a perfect stylistic matchup. But as I said, do Inoue and his team want to take that risk by possibly being drained in that fight? Because Inoue is getting tighter and tighter at the weight. And let's be real, Inoue fighting Sam Goodman, like, you know, Sam Goodman's a worthy contender, 100% he is. He's a good fighter. But he's not on the level of MJ. Stylistically, Sam Goodman is he's just an easy fight for Inoue to win against, in my opinion. He's there for Inoue to break down and get to and stop him. 100% he is. MJ, you know, I'm not saying MJ beats Inoue. I'm not. But it's possible, it's very possible that he does compared to everyone else. I knew Inoue would run right through Stephen Fulton. I knew he'd beat Neri. I knew he'd beat Tapales. I knew he'd beat TJ Doheny with ease. I don't know why that TJ Doheny fight happened instead of the MJ Akhmadaliev one. MJ should have had that fight against Inoue instead of TJ Doheny. Without a shadow of a doubt, why that was even made, I don't know. And the fact that was the fight that was made, I think that was pretty fishy why MJ wasn't given the opportunity then. But, and I mean, the fact that that was made and now the Sam Goodman fight now on, I don't know. I just don't get it. And Sam Goodman got injured as well. Like, you know, I feel like they just shouldn't have rescheduled that. Just try and stick MJ in there. I mean, yeah. I think it's frustrating. I don't think Inoue's scared, but fighting MJ when he's tighter at the weight is a risk. That's what I think. But the fight for Inoue against MJ is winnable for Inoue, but MJ can beat him. That's the thing as well. It's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. I don't think Inoue's ducking, but it is a risk, if you get what I mean. It is a risky fight. It's the most risky fight he can take. And let's be real, MJ, as I said, he is more of a test than what Angelo Leo is, than Nick Ball is, than Brandon Figueiredo, than Rafael Espinoza. MJ is a bigger test as well. And yeah, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. But, you know, people are going to bring up, the fact that MJ lost to Tapales. It was a close fight. And Tapales has a difficult start and proved to have a difficult start for MJ. And, you know, it wasn't easy for Inoue, even when he fought Tapales. It wasn't easy. But, yeah, look, at the end of the day, let's wait and see. MJ's got his spot. He's been he's been offered the fight twice now, as Eddie Hearns been saying, and it is a fact as well. Eddie's not making that up. I don't know why the MJ Akhmadaliev fight hasn't been made when there's been many opportunities for it to be made. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for watching.